Hey, welcome to the Small Business Made Simple podcast, brought to you by socialmediaandmarketing.com.au. Being in business is never easy, but it can be simple, or at least simpler. Join me, your host Jen Donovan, every week where we focus on marketing, social media, and working towards simplifying your business. You with me? Let's do this.
If you're gonna dream it big, 'cause someone out there listening. Everyone's got a voice to give, and it's time I heard you whistling, 'cause there's no point at all, in dreaming small.
Way, hey there, my amazing listener. Welcome to episode 280 of the Small Business Made Simple podcast. Thank you, as always, for lending me your ears today. I know you have lots of choices out there, and I really do appreciate you making me and the Small Business Made Simple podcast one of your choices for today. Today, I'm answering some more questions. So a couple of weeks ago, I did a podcast that was all about how to get more leads into your business. And today, I'm going a little bit deeper by answering some of the questions that kept coming up from that episode. So make sure you tune in. But of course, before we get there, don't forget the show notes for this podcast can be found at all the W's, socialmediaandmarketing.com.au/180, actually 280, because it's episode 280. And so I thought, I say this every week, and I thought, well, some people might think, well, Jen, why do I even need to know that? Why do I need to know where the show notes are? So the show notes are actually like a transcript of the podcast episode. So if you're thinking, I want some more clarity around what Jen just said, or what was that link that Jen said because I'm out walking or I'm out driving, then you'll find all that in the show notes. So that's my little thing that exists on my website where you can listen to the podcast as well, but you can also read the podcast, which is a really great idea. Great for SEO too, I might just say. So it's kind of like my backup system. So that's why I say that every single week. Of course, the other thing I say every single week is, did you get a chance to listen to last week's episode? Because last week, in this case, was all about product architecture, thinking about where your income streams, but more so where your customers and clients come into your business, and where they leak out. So having a real look at that product architecture that you've got in your business. I have had some crazy, amazing conversations with entrepreneurs and small business owners around product architecture. And one of the things that I didn't mention last week, which I'm just going to kind of tail end into this week's podcast, is when you are thinking about whether or not you should do something, is there product architecture behind it? So I was having a conversation with someone who was like, well, I was thinking maybe I might do this in my business. And it was like a talk, for instance. It was like, I think I might, have one of my keynotes around this subject. And my question to her was, okay, so what's the product architecture behind that? Because if you're going to stand on the stage and talk to 200 people about this particular subject, then you want to have something to sell off the back of it, don't you? Because you've just stood in front of your ideal audience, and the last thing you want them to do is go, yeah, it was great. And then there's nothing. So it's if you think about your product architecture, it's a really great way of keeping you on track as to where you should be, because otherwise you have to start building a whole heap of new stuff. Anyway, you can listen to that episode after you've listened to this one if you haven't already, or if you did already listen to it, then that's a little bit of a little bit of a brainwave or a little extra thought bubble that came from having great conversations this week about product architecture. All right. So this week I want to continue, like I said, the conversation I had a few weeks ago about getting more leads into your business. One of the options that I mentioned in that podcast episode was getting more leads through using email marketing and lead magnets. Now, lots of people reached out and asked questions around email marketing and lead magnets. So like I said at the start, I've decided to make this podcast about answering some of those questions that just came up time and time again. Of course, there's a little bit behind that in hoping that you might fall in love with email marketing as much as I do, by, just hearing a little bit more about how you can use, in this case, lead magnets to drive more leads into your business. So like I said, these are some of my community's questions these are some of my community's questions on how to get more leads into their business. So the first question that I heard often was, was the one about how many lead magnets should I have in my business? Fair question, yeah? And the answer is actually not very fair. So the answer is I'm not really sure. It depends on your business model, but it's definitely more than one. And it's probably more than two. And if you Googled it, it sits somewhere around about 15 or 16 lead magnets into your business. But that might seem like a stretch for most of us. But honestly, for me, I think I've lost count how many lead magnets I have in my business. Some I use and market often, and others are purpose built. So, for example, if I'm talking about a particular subject or a particular podcast episode, I've created perhaps a lead magnet for that, but it's not really something I would market otherwise. Again, this could go back to your product architecture and what it is that you want to be famous for and what you're going to create around that. So one example that comes to mind is quite some time ago, I did a podcast episode around SEO for beginners. I created a workbook around that, so a lead magnet workbook around SEO for beginners that related 100% to the podcast episode that I'm doing. But I'm not an SEO expert. I created a workbook to help people who were beginners in SEO. I'm not an expert, but I'm over the hurdle of what I would call a beginner. So I wanted to help the beginners. So I created this workbook, but I'm not an SEO expert. I don't want to be somebody that people reach out for SEO help. It's not my niche. Of course, if people are talking to me about strategy, marketing strategy, and we happen to talk about SEO as part of the strategy, that's different. But that's not what I want to be famous for. So I don't talk about that lead magnet generally because I don't want to give it away. But if you listen to that podcast episode, then absolutely you can still get a copy of that workbook. So that's what I mean by sometimes things that I've built are purpose built and others aren't just totally what I talk about all the time because they are the things that I want to be famous for and that are solving some really big problems of my ideal audience. Of course, I have a list of 69 lead magnet ideas that I share over and over again in just about every course or every keynote or every workshop that I do around email marketing. In fact, it's probably a list that I did so long ago that I need to update it now I'm talking about it. But the idea of the list is to open up a small business owner's eyes to just how many lead magnets they could build themselves, what a lead magnet is, of course, and how simple they can be. They can be simple or complex. If you don't already have a copy of that list, that 69 lead magnet ideas, then you can go to my website, socialmediaandmarketing.com.au/magnet ideas, and it'll be there like magic for you. Okay, so question 2 was, do lead magnets still work? So maybe I should have actually led with this one. Yeah, this should have been question 1 rather than question 2. Of course, the simple answer is yes. Absolutely, they still work. I have just actually changed over all my significant lead magnets on my website, although I'm still working on parts of that to get rid of some old ones. And that's a job that I need to get back to now. I'm thinking about it, but they are definitely getting downloads. My old ones got lots of downloads, especially my 108 social media content creation ideas lead magnet, which, is now out of service. It got not hundreds of thousands. That's telling a really big lie. It got thousands and thousands of downloads. And when I market my lead magnets, hey, huge surprise, the number of people downloading them actually goes up. Who knew, right? Who knew that marketing your lead magnet might actually get more people to sign up for your lead magnet? I know. It's just hard. Of course, lead magnets that offer no value don't work. Your lead magnet must offer value and have a strategy of how and when you're going to use them. It's just not a thing you can create and the troops are just going to come running for it. Remember, though, it's not just about collecting email addresses. It's about building that potential community of customers. So building that potential community of people who will buy from you over and over again. To be honest, almost every time someone comes to me and says, Jen, I've tried lead magnets and they just don't work, these people are given a certain look from moi. And then I have a look at their social media and their marketing, and More often than not, if they've come to me and said lead magnets don't work, I find one of two things. I find that there's nothing, no sign of a lead magnet that's available at all in any of their marketing. Yes, it's on their website, but really, that's just not good enough. Like, you can't expect people to go and find it. You've got to market it. So that's the first thing I find, is they're just not marketing their lead magnet. Or the second conversation is probably a little bit less comfortable, a little bit uncomfortable for the both of us, and that's about providing the value. Their lead magnet perhaps isn't really providing value to their audience. You know, a lead magnet should be something that people are willing to pay for, should it be on sale, but they don't because it's a freebie. And it really isn't solving their biggest problem. You know, so it hasn't got that value behind it. They haven't quite thought through the process of what a lead magnet is for and why you would have a lead magnet in your business. So, look, I'm not going to say every time a lead magnet doesn't work that it's one of those two things, but generally it's one of those two things. So if you have a lead magnet in your business and they aren't working, I want you to head to Canva. I want you to up 20 marketing tiles around the lead magnet or lead magnets and schedule them into your socials over a year. So 20, that's probably if you repurpose them twice. So say it's, once a fortnight, that's 40 weeks. We're already 4 weeks in. So, or make up 30 tiles and schedule, them a little bit more often. But go and make them and market that lead magnet. Also put your link and your graphics into your email signature and maybe even use the link as a PS in email marketing emails that you actually send out. And then it might work. King's honor. Like Scout's honor, but I'm not a Scout. But I'm not a King either, but King's honor just sounds a little bit better for me today. All right. So I promise you, if you market your lead magnet, it will work. Now, I will just say here, because maybe you're thinking, Jen, email marketing is on my list to do this year. So I just wanted to let you in on a little thing that my 4-week email marketing masterclass is now open for enrollments. We start at the end of February for this, and there are some changes, and the biggest change you might see if you click the button is that it's now a 5-week program, not a 4-week program. Why is it moved to a 5-week program? Mainly because the 3 times, I ran it 3 times last year, my 4-week email marketing masterclass. And I really felt that the feedback I got was they just wanted one more week of clarity, one more week of implementation, basically. Yes, they had calls with me, but that group environment, they just wanted one more week in that group environment to share ideas and to get people's feedback on different things that they were doing around email marketing. So now it's a 5-week program. Like I said, we start on the 26th of February. We go for 5 weeks until the 25th of March. The price is $750. Spots are limited. And if you're keen but would like to do a payment plan, then yeah, super happy to do that for you. If you enroll now, we can start the weekly installments to make things easier for you. So all you need to do is head to, it's actually a bit.ly link, so bit.ly/email masterclass with Jen. Or you can head to the show notes at socialmediamarketing.com.au/280. Okay, so I have my third question that I wanted to go through. The last question for this particular podcast is, where do I put this lead magnet to help people sign up for it? So we've had the question, the first question was all around, how many lead magnets do I need? The second one was, do they really work? And this third one is, okay, they work. I need some. Where do I put them, Jen? Okay, so I've actually got a list of 26 places that you can put your lead magnet to market your lead magnet. I'm going to read through them really quickly. So if you want to see them, again, head to the show notes. See, I told you at the start, this would be a really handy link for you to know for this particular podcast. But again, socialmediaandmarketing.com.au jenwhite.com.au/280 and you will see 26 places you can put your lead magnet. But like I said, I'll read through them quickly now. Caption on your Facebook cover or your LinkedIn cover page. Number 2, your social media bios. Number 3, your Aero 404 page. Number 4, your about page on your website. Number 5, above the fold on your website. Number 6, on a sidebar on your website. Number 7, you could use a pop-up for your on your website or an exit pop-up on your website or both. Number 8, Google business profile posts and or in your actual profile. Number 9, specific landing pages either on your website or inside your email marketing program, like as in whether you use MailChimp or MailerLite or something like that. Number 9, social media platforms. Promote your lead magnet on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, X, LinkedIn, Pinterest, using really compelling visuals and copy. Put them in your stories, do lives about them, do reels about them, market them often. Number 11, put in your email signature. Include a link to your lead magnet in your email signature that you send out with every single email. Guest blog posts. If you write guest articles for industry-related blogs, include a call to action to your lead magnet. Number 13, webinars that you do. Number 14, in YouTube videos that you do. Number 15, in podcasts. Even if you are a guest on a podcast, ask them if you can promote your lead magnet. Number 16, online forums and communities such as Quora, Facebook groups, and Reddit. Number 17, paid advertising. Use platforms like Google Ads or Facebook Ads to actually pay for leads on your lead magnet. Again, you need to know your lifetime value of your customer. You need to know your return on your investment, but don't be afraid to pay for these things if it will bring you the result that you want it to. Number 18, you could have affiliate or partner promotions. Collaborate with partners or affiliates to promote your lead magnet to their audiences. Networking events. Mention your lead magnet when networking or have a QR code on your business card that links to it. QR codes, really great idea for marketing. I did do a whole podcast episode about QR codes. Can't remember the number of it, but have a search through and you will find it. Great episode to listen to. Number 20, printed materials. Include information about your lead magnet on brochures and flyers and other printed material. In your newsletters, if you already have an email list, promote your new lead magnet to your regular newsletter subscribers. Have a referral program. Encourage your current subscribers and customers to refer others by sharing that lead magnet. Do some interactive quizzes. Put stickers with your QR codes around places. If you're doing an interactive workshop or a live on social media or in-person events such as industry events and showrooms, that's just 26 different ways you can promote your lead magnet. I'm sure that is only just a good start. I'm sure there are lots of other ways that you can think of them. And if you can, head into my Like-Minded Business Owners Facebook group and tell people in there. I would love you to add to that list for sure. As you're going through the list in your head, think, score yourself out of 10. Are you a 0, as in I haven't done any of that, Jen? Or are you a 10, as in I actually do that and I do it often? Score yourself. This is the only way we can move forward, is knowing what it is that we should be doing and taking action to make sure we do it. So there you have it, my 3 most asked questions from my community when it comes to email marketing, especially when we're talking about a lead generating activity such as lead magnets and email marketing. I love that so many people in my community are really thinking about leads so early on this year and thinking about email marketing. Now, if that is you, I just want to mention again my now 5-week email marketing masterclass. You can find it at bit.ly/email masterclass with Jen. Check it out. You can check out, all the ins and outs, what there is. There's a little video for you to watch. We start on the 26th of February. I would love to have you in that program and get you cracking with email marketing this year. Otherwise, again, head into my Like-Minded Business Owners Facebook group and join in the community there. It's a great community and I would love to welcome you there. And if you're there, hey, let's put up some comments and some questions. That would be super cool. But that's it for episode 280. If you love this episode and found it valuable, I'd love you to take 30 seconds out of your life and leave a rating and a review. Otherwise, I will see you next week for episode 281. In the meantime, if we aren't social on social, come and find me on any of the platforms and let's get social on social media. But whatever you do, remember my small business peeps, as my opening song says, there is no point in dreaming small.
No time like the present. Tell it like you feel it, say it proud, be true and let us see you for the star that you are. No point in dreaming small.
I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, the Yorta Yorta people, on which I record this podcast and conduct my business today, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I extend this respect to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here with us today as well.